Friday night. Coffee shop, flannel shirt, wash pants, showered, brushed teeth, first date, last of the month. Girl asks, do you believe in soulmates? Blushes, laughs at herself, says, Jesus, what a stupid question. From across the table, smile, sip coffee, say that no, I've never believed in soulmates. Which is bullshit, because 2 years ago, in the pouring rain in a 2003 Subaru, girl said out of nowhere, I think I'm in love with you. I said back, holy shit, I love you too. We both laughed, and then she showed me on a Barbie doll how to finger fuck my then girlfriend. Back in the coffee shop, last of the month, keep a bit of outdated trivia to myself. Conversation turns, let's talk about families. She asks, do you have any siblings? And I think about sharing that my half-brother used to babysit me, and so on Friday nights, we would camp out in front of the television set in the family room, sipping out of Pepsi cans and hunching over PlayStation 1 controllers. My brother seemed bigger back then. Bigger the way sex seemed bigger, the way cigarettes seemed bigger. He had been to New York, had been to Boston, he'd been in bar fights and shit shows and hooked up with affable but iffy-looking strangers in backroom bathrooms. And I was in grade school, and my brother, knowing how impressionable I was and being addicted to nicotine cigarettes, would not let me follow him outside when he smoked. At the threshold between the kitchen and the backyard one night, I followed him and asked, where are you going? He said out, I asked why. He paused for a second and said, I have to rendezvous with the alien mothership. I do not think he was expecting me to believe him, and so when he caught the simultaneous hint of interest and trepidation in my eyes, he extrapolated wildly, saying that, yeah, whatever, actually he was an alien from the planet Exergon 7, actually he was here to observe the human race, actually he was my half-brother, not only because my father had sexual intercourse with another woman, but also because he had sexual intercourse with a member of another species. And Jesus Christ, Christopher, you stay inside, and you wait patiently for me to come back in 4 to 7 minutes, because they have not yet formed a love for the human race as I have, and they will motherfucking kill you on sight simply for being different, and don't you ever forget how fucked up that is, because prejudice is a fool's preoccupation. Then, having found an excuse to excuse himself with, and having successfully wrapped it all up in a nifty racism parable, he went out behind the house to inhale cancer into his lungs. And I stood there, staring out the sliding glass doorway, picturing a xenomorph ripping out of my brother's skin suit to converse more effectively with little green men holding ray guns ripped from Saturday morning cereals. That didn't last long, but I often think about what my relationship with my half-brother might look like if he kept telling science fiction stories and I kept believing them. Probably, he would have explained all those late-night drunken phone calls by saying he'd just been put under a spell by a traveling band of witches, the black eye from a fight he got from getting into a fight with the Jersey Devil when he went back to Hoboken, the intense social anxiety, and acute reaction to the realization that he's been living in the Matrix, the hole in the wall, and the car accident, and the bar fight, just the workings of a shapeshifter trying to discredit him. And probably, I would not put immediate distance between us by referring to him always as my half-brother. He is 40, and I am 20, and I do not know when either of us will find the time to mend that relationship. I made my sister cry over the telephone the other day after I inadvertently reminded her of how much easier of a childhood I had. My dog is geriatric, my parents are getting old, my old friends are scattered around the country, and soon I will join them by fucking off to the Midwest after graduation. I have always had a theory that every person on Earth either has a little existential crisis every day or a big one every 6 months, but lately I've been waking up and freaking out. I should drop out of school, go to clown college, make friends with strangers in my hometown hookah shop. Writing's not going to work, teaching's not going to work. How the fuck would teaching work when at the middle school where I'm assistant teaching, during a get-to-know-you question and answer session, I got nervous, froze up, and told a classroom full of remedial 6th graders that my favorite movie is The Blair Witch Project, which is a fucking crazy thing to tell a classroom full of 6th graders for a number of reasons, the least of which being that I don't even like The Blair Witch Project, and the most of which being that saying that your favorite movie is The Blair Witch Project is like saying that your favorite TV show is Dateline to Catch a Predator. And I have been listening to The Predatory Wasp of the Palisades on repeat, and I've got anxiety about you because I don't know how I feel about you, and I don't know how you feel about me, and the nice nights make me melancholy, and your nice dress makes me reticent, and you taught me, and you raised me, pulled me from my mother's uterus, passed me my first hit of marijuana, went down on me, high-fived me, took me aside after class and said I showed potential, and I am mixing metaphors because I promised myself when I started slamming that I would not write about any of the people in my life. I have been writing in moleskin journals, of which I am so quick to abandon, and singing down city streets and coming into condoms so that I will not be surprised at what it feels like when a stretch of rubber catches a pool of my own destroyed semen in a wet vagina. This is gross. This is too much information. This one time, I got drunk and set a condom on fire. It didn't burn well, and the smell was horrible. And I feel horrible because I still can't believe how I treated you, even though I was young, like I'm still young, but younger. I worked in retail this summer, and a woman said to me, I can tell you're young because you talk fast and you speak low. And I wanted to say back, I can tell you're old because the wrinkles on your face are making me nervous about the natural aging process and the never-ending march of time. When I was 15, I thought for sure that by 20 I would have my shit together, which I recognize was naive of me. But I could not even conceptualize the life that so many of my friends are close to living. The last time I saw her, an old friend told me to be good and to do good things, and I've been trying to do that, but it's hard to do good and not slip into neutral when you are marred by frustration. I've been rejected by the New England Review, the Gettysburg Review, Granted, Glimmer Train, Nick's Brain, Kiku's Heart, Kristen's Heart, Phoebe's Heart, and I did the Don Draper and had an epiphany in California this past summer that I'm not longing for any of them anymore. Epiphanies are underrated because everybody has them and nobody talks about them. Clarity is a rarity, and so it is important for me to articulate that I am afraid of highways, afraid of leaving, and if I am really so afraid of dying, then it is bullshit that I do not wear a helmet when I go on bike rides. I am so full of shit. All style, no substance, talk fast, speak low, metatextual, metrosexual, hyposexual virgin. I keep thinking I keep keeping up appearances. I am a regurgitated remix of my influences, and I am a bad liberal because the only thing I ever remember to recycle is my own shitty jokes. I think lips are weird. They're crazy. We eat, we kiss, and talk and vomit out of them. Dogs are weird too, and the Pledge of Allegiance and high-concept storytelling devices aside, it is fucking crazy that we are going to be dead one day. I used to pray obsessively, and now I make lists about all the things I've done, or should be doing, or should be thinking. I should get out of bed earlier. I should watch less infomercials. I should be better to my parents. I should be kinder to my friends. I should be trying harder. I should be doing better. I can be good. I can do good things. This is an invocation to pick up the remote. This is me getting my shit together. This is a list of all the things that I will never share on a first date. Thank you so much.